Yes, sir. Yeah, a couple seconds. What's going on, everybody? Episode 9 of the Matrix Show. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We do a little in that. What? Got a little alien special tonight. We're gonna go over different alien species, different extraterrestrials, different beings. We must prepare since we know they're here. We gotta know which one's the cool ones and which one's the ain't cool ones who ain't gonna mess with us. So let's get this started, y'all. We ain't gonna play around with this. We ain't got time to play. We don't wanna play. Uh, this video is every type of alien explained by Crypto Croaks. If y'all wanna check them out, let's get into it, y'all. Because one, they already exposed the aliens are out here, so we have to prepare. We have to we have to prepare. Hold on. So I said, hold on. No, we ain't gonna do that. We have to prepare for the outcome. We have to prepare for which aliens are cool with us. Which aliens, because some of these aliens are our cousins. Some of these aliens are our people. Some of these aliens, like, yo, they really are cousins, our distant cousins. We just been on Earth so long that we don't know goddamn left from our right, right from our left, up from our downs. We might be related to the tall whites, the grays, the north. Well, we know. But yeah, they're here. They existed. But the government the government let us know they're here. And it's not just aliens. You have the aliens, you have interdimensional beings, extra dimensional beings, the Ebons, extraterrestrial body. Oh, I forgot. But it's Ebon something. Well, let's go ahead and get into the aliens.
The Greys. The Greys are the face of alien contact in modern human consciousness, and their appearance has remained disturbingly consistent across thousands of reported encounters spanning 7 decades. Standing roughly 3.5 to 4.5 feet tall, they possess disproportionately large heads with smooth gray skin that appears almost translucent under certain lighting conditions. Their most distinctive feature is their eyes, massive black almond-shaped voids that occupy nearly a third of their skull, with no visible iris, pupil, or white. Witnesses describe these eyes as completely emotionless, yet somehow intensely observing, absorbing every detail with an intelligence that feels both advanced and utterly alien to human experience. The Greys possess virtually no nose, only small nostril slits, and their mouths are typically described as thin lines that rarely open and never speak, communicating instead through direct telepathic projection into the minds of those they encounter. Their bodies are frail and spindly, with long, thin arms ending in 3 or 4 fingers, and they move with an unsettling fluid grace that suggests either advanced technology compensating for physical weakness or a fundamentally different relationship with gravity. The first widely publicized encounter occurred in 1961 when Betty and Barney Hill reported being taken aboard a craft in New Hampshire and subjected to medical examination by beings matching this exact description. Since then, the Greys have appeared in abduction accounts from Brazil to Japan, from Australia to Scandinavia, with witnesses who have never met describing identical details down to the texture of their skin and the cold clinical efficiency of their examinations. They are associated primarily with medical experimentation, genetic sampling, and what abductees describe as a breeding program, though their ultimate purpose remains as opaque as their black eyes. The consistency of description across cultures and decades suggests either a genuine phenomenon or the most successful mass psychological imprint in human history.
So the Greys are like us, but Super Saiyan us and shorter, or are they evil? Are they the Watchers? Are they watching over us? How are they watching over us? Are we their lab rats? What's going on? What's
The reptilians.
reptilians? We know we know the reptilians are evil. We know the reptilians are evil. The reptilians are the ones that are evil. Let me not just be so vague. They say allegedly, according to conspiracies, reptilians are the ones that run the earth. Reptilians are the one that make law and order. Reptilians are like the earth devil. Reptilians are in major positions. But are they really bad as they make them seem? Are they the evil people according to majority of conspiracies? Let's see.
The reptilians exist at the intersection of ancient mythology and modern conspiracy, described as a humanoid species with distinctly reptilian features that allegedly operates in the shadows of human civilization and has done so for thousands of years. Standing between 6 and 8 feet tall, they possess scaly skin in shades of green, brown, or occasionally gold, with vertical slit pupils identical to those of Earth's reptiles. Their faces combine human and serpentine characteristics with prominent brow ridges, sharp angular cheekbones, and mouths that can unhinge slightly wider than human anatomy allows, revealing rows of sharp pointed teeth. Some accounts describe them as possessing small ridges or crests along their skulls and spines, while others report completely smooth, scaled heads. Unlike the Greys, reptilians are described as physically powerful, muscular, and aggressive, with some witnesses claiming they possess the ability to shapeshift or project holographic disguises to move undetected among humans.
So basically, reptilians have this special power where they could they could blind our mindset. They could blind our minds where our eyes will only see them as humans. But ain't no but. That's exactly what the fuck is going on. Because if we see them naturally, they would just look vicious and ruthless to us. Actually, if we see a lot of things naturally, I think a lot of things will look ruthless and scary as fuck to us. Like, if we see the earth naturally outside of the dimension we're seeing it now, we would be like, I don't even think we would comprehend it. I would be like, I would probably be everyone would be like, what the fuck? Because that's the best way you can describe it. Like, what the fuck? What the hell? Oh,
who claim these beings' ability to shapeshift or project holographic disguises to move undetected among humans. The modern reptilian hypothesis was popularized in the 1990s by conspiracy theorists who claim these beings occupy positions of power within governments, corporations,
told you.
and religious institutions, secretly manipulating human affairs toward unknown ends. However, the concept of reptilian humanoids appears much earlier in human mythology, from the Naga serpent beings of Hindu and Buddhist tradition dating back over 2,000 years, to the dragon kings of Chinese folklore, to the serpent in the Garden of Eden itself.
Mm.
Accounts describe reptilians as cold
Eve was a reptilian. That bitch.
blooded in both physiology and temperament, operating with ruthless logic and viewing humans as either resources to be exploited or livestock to be managed.
They're treating us like cows and sheep, like livestock. That's crazy.
Unlike the Greys, who are reported as emotionless but not malicious, reptilians are consistently described as deliberately hostile, supremacist, and contemptuous of human life. Whether they represent suppressed ancestral memory of a predecessor species, interdimensional entities, or psychological projection of humanity's predatory fears remains a matter of
Interdimensional entities. So remember we was talking about we have aliens and we have interdimensional beings. Remember I was saying some well, I don't know if y'all was here earlier, but I was saying like got aliens, got interdimensional, extraterrestrial. So interdimensional, to the best of my ability, I could explain. Mm, think of poltergeist. Think of shadow people, different dimensions. That's how much we are not alone. Even when you're alone, you're not alone. Like you have you have aliens in the sky. Well, I shouldn't say sky. Aliens in the universe that reside on different stars, different galaxies. Then you have different interdimensional beings. Some, I think, sometimes we might call them like demons, devils. You know, um, because there's different dimensions. Like there's another dimension of you, me. You might be the president in a whole nother world. You might be uh, a drug lord in a whole nother dimension world. It's interdimensional, man. I'm gonna go over a video on that too, cause I'm still learning that as well. Like it's one of my little fascination hobbies. One of my little videos I go to sleep to. I go to sleep to a lot of alien shit. But I'm decided to share my little hobbies with y'all. Hey, yeah.
intense debate.
The Nordics. The Nordics appear as the most unsettling type of alien precisely because they look almost exactly like humans, specifically humans of Northern European descent.
Mm, mm.
And this similarity raises questions.
I think the Nordics are the good people, though. I believe the Nordics are the good people. But yeah, they're they're saying like the Nordics are described as I don't call it like I said. They're saying Nordics described as Caucasian people with blonde hair. That could be true. You feel me? Cause that's the thing about it. We so small-minded. We're thinking about race and color. Like no, no, it's way bigger than that. It's way bigger than that, gang. Fuck that. Fuck the color. Fuck all this. Like we're really deep. It's deeper than that. It's not even about that. This is so small-minded. Like if anything, we're all one race, the human race. But like the human race has powers, like the aliens and extraterrestrials, or even interdimensional beings. But we don't know how to access them yet. Do I know how to access them? No. Would I like to? Yeah. But for some reason we can't. On top of that, there are beings who already probably do have access to them already. And like, do you really believe that we're all this ancestors of Neanderthals? Come on. Do you really believe that you came from a caveman? I believe I came from Venus. I believe 90% of the population on Earth are hybrids, half human, half aliens, half human, half different dimensions, different dimensional entities. Yeah, yeah.
far more disturbing than monsters ever could. Described as standing between 6 and 7 feet tall, they possess perfect symmetrical features, flawless pale skin, platinum blonde or white hair, and brilliant blue
Mm.
or occasionally green eyes that witnesses describe as containing an otherworldly depth
Now listen, this don't mean next time you see a white person that's almost 7 feet, 6 feet, 6.5 feet tall, blonde hair with green and blue eyes. You don't just be like, "Oh, you're a Nordic alien." No, no, let's be respectful. Don't do that dumb shit. Fucking assholes.
and clarity. Both male and female Nordics are reported as strikingly beautiful by conventional human standards, athletic and graceful in movement, and typically wearing simple form-fitting jumpsuits in white, silver, or pale blue. Unlike the clinical greys or hostile reptilians, Nordics are consistently described as benevolent.
I like how they say clinical greys and hostile reptilians. So when I think of like clinical greys, like okay, the greys might be the doctors, they might help us or in a way, but on the flip side, they're probably just using us for testing to see how we react to certain stuff, to see how our body operates. They probably trying to see how our mind is. The reptilians, like, you're our bitches. We're stronger than you. So that makes you our hoe. And that's that. You can try to do something, but we will annihilate you. That's how the reptilians operate. Okay, I think we got that. We got that? Okay, cool.
Communicating in perfect unaccented English or the native language of the contactee, often delivering messages about nuclear weapons, environmental destruction, and humanity's need for spiritual evolution. The first major Nordic contact case occurred in 1952 when George Adamski claimed to have met a being named Orthon in the California desert who warned him about atomic testing, a case that established the template for hundreds of
So the Nordics, the homies. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the Nordics, the homies, y'all. So, see, this is why we can't go by racing now. Forget the color type shit. You see what I'm saying? We got this is why we gotta watch this. So we got maybe the Greys, no reptilians. The Nordics, the homies. That's the homies right there. So we fuck with the Nordics.
subsequent Nordic encounters.
The disturbing element is not their message but their appearance, because if an advanced extraterrestrial species coincidentally evolved to look exactly like idealized humans, the statistical improbability approaches impossibility. This has led to several competing theories.
The statistically possibility approaches impossible. Okay, hold on. Yo, I ain't. We're gonna. Let's rewind that part. I ain't gonna rewind too much, but I got here.
Humans, the statistical improbability approaches impossibility. This has led to several
Oh, I think I kind of know what that means. I gotta stop smoking. But no, okay. So was it probably saying like aliens cannot 100% look like humans?
several competing theories. Some researchers suggest Nordics are actually human, either time travelers from our future or survivors of an advanced ancient civilization. Others propose they are deliberately mimicking human appearance to ease contact anxiety. The darkest
Mm.
interpretation suggests they are neither benevolent nor alien, but psychological operations conducted by human intelligence agencies, using perfectly ordinary tall blonde individuals to discredit genuine alien contact by association with obviously fabricated cases. What remains consistent across reports is their almost evangelical insistence on delivering warnings and spiritual guidance, behavior that seems strangely human for beings supposedly from another world.
So they're like, we're 80% sure they're the homies. We're kind of 80% sure. The 20% they might be CIA stuff, but 80% sure they're the homies.
The insectoids. The insectoids
Boys.
represent humanity's nightmare of the hive, alien beings whose appearance and behavior
Oh no. These are not the homies. These are not the homies. Oh no.
suggests a completely non-human psychology organized around collective consciousness rather than individual identity. Described as standing between 5 and 7 feet tall, they possess hard chitinous exoskeletons in dark brown, black, or occasionally iridescent green, with elongated heads dominated by large, multifaceted compound eyes that curve around the sides of their
Um, so let's take a quick poll. Do you think this alien species is the homies or they the ops? Because remember, you can't base off appearances. Now I know they're not like the Nordics now, but but we can't. The Nordics is, you know, they look benevolent, angelic, and stuff. They could be nice. They just look, can't judge the alien can't judge the book by its cover. Ooh.
skulls. Their mouths consist of complex mandibles that move independently, and
Yeah, I don't think they the homies. I'm already gonna put my bet in. They're not the homies, y'all. Fuck that. Judge a book by its cover. Judge that motherfucker.
some reports describe them
Judge it.
possessing additional smaller limbs or appendages near their upper torso. Most distinctively, insectoids move with insect-like jerking motions, sudden and angular rather than fluid, as if their neurology operates on fundamentally different timing than mammalian movement. Witnesses describe them as completely silent, communicating through what abductees interpret as hive mind broadcasts rather than individual telepathy, experiencing entire groups of insectoids
Hive mind broadcast. What does that mean? Hive mind broadcast. Hey Siri, what does hive mind broadcast mean? What does hive mind broadcast mean? The term hive mind is commonly used to use. Okay, no. Let's ask ChatGPT. No. What does hive mind broadcasting mean, and how is it different from telepathy?
Hive mind broadcasting is often a sci fi concept where multiple minds are linked together, like a collective consciousness, and they broadcast shared thoughts, emotions, or ideas to the entire group at once. It's all about a collective, synchronized experience, like many people sharing the same mental channel. Telepathic communication, on the other hand, is more individual. It's one mind directly sending thoughts or feelings to another specific mind, usually on a one to one basis. So the difference is that hive mind broadcasting involves sharing with a collective, while telepathy is more direct and personal.
So what the hell? So hive mind is like a mass email, like a public service announcement, and goddamn telepathically telepath. I keep saying that telepathically is basically the DMs. So hive minds is the public service announcement post, and telepathically it's a DMs. Okay, we on some.
as a single distributed intelligence. The most famous insectoid encounter occurred in 1973 in Pascagoula, Mississippi, when Charles Hickson and Calvin Parker reported being taken aboard a craft by beings they described as robotic in movement, with crab-like claws and wrinkled gray elephant-like skin, though later analysis suggested the wrinkled appearance may have been a misperception of segmented exoskeleton.
Subsequent reports refined the description toward more explicitly insect-like features, particularly resembling praying mantises, leading to the subcategory known as mantids. These beings are associated with the Greys in many abduction accounts, with witnesses describing insectoids as overseers or supervisors directing the Greys' medical procedures. The horror of insectoid encounters stems not from hostility, but from their complete incomprehensibility, beings whose consciousness is so alien that communication feels less like conversation, but more like being processed by a vast indifferent intelligence that regards individual humans the way we regard individual cells.
The tall
Boy, so yeah, the Grays ain't the homies no more. Because what I just got from that the insectoids are the Grays balls, and they be telling them to do they test on our asses type shit. So, and they look like they on some new world order, new galaxy order type shit. What the fuck the insectoids on? The insectoids make are starting to make the reptilians look like angels, in my opinion. But let's see about the tall whites. They kind of resemble the Nordics. No discrimination, but I mean, like, got the blonde hair and shit.
whites. The tall whites emerged
The Nordics have blonde hair too.
from the testimony of a single witness, former U.S. Air Force weatherman Charles Hall, who claimed to have had extensive contact with them at Nellis Air Force Base in Nevada during the 1960s, and the specific detail of his accounts has made them impossible to easily dismiss. Described as standing between
I'm sorry, but to be honest, if I ever encounter alien something, I'm never gonna tell y'all. I would never take a picture. I just wouldn't. One, I'm not. I'm no. I like living. I think I have a lot to live for. I have pretty good ideas to share with the world. I don't want to mess that up because alien or extraterrestrial being wants to contact me and try to, they probably want to be cool as hell, whatever. And I fuck it up and tell the whole world like, look guys, look Facebook, this is my friend ET, look ET, and ET's like, no D, no, I could have made, I could have, you could have been president of the world, you could have been president of the galaxy. I would have made you straight. I could have took away your family sicknesses. I could have healed your people, but you told everybody. No. And that's the problem right there. I bet the aliens will fuck with us more if it wasn't so quick to just yap our fucking mouth and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, hey, aliens, oh, I see you. Oh my god, oh my god. The fuck? Like, you know how people will be like, hey, get that camera on my face. How you think they feel? How the fuck you think they feel? Come on now. Shit crazy. I would never tell folks.
6 and 9 feet tall, with chalk white skin, large blue eyes, and nearly translucent white blonde hair. They
The only people that's probably gonna know is the men in black. The the hat people. They know when anybody encounters aliens, even when they don't post. But they're just gonna make sure that you don't goddamn, hey, okay, Utis, don't say shit. As soon as you say shit, we on your ass like wet on rice. So don't say shit. That's all. It's like hope people like, hey, don't snitch, you know what I'm saying? You better treat the aliens like the street, goddamn. Don't say shit. For real, for real.
age in reverse of human appearance, with their young looking elderly, and their elderly developing an almost luminescent quality to their skin. Hall described them as possessing exceptionally fragile bones that shatter easily, requiring them to wear protective aluminized suits when interacting with humans whose casual touch could seriously injure them. Despite this physical vulnerability, tall whites are described as having extremely volatile temperaments, capable of killing humans with handheld energy weapons if startled or disrespected.
That boy had the ray guns, so the tall whites are the owners of the gray guns. Y'all got that? The tall whites have the ray guns.
And Hall claimed that several military personnel died in accidental confrontations with them. According to his account, tall whites have maintained a formal diplomatic relationship with elements of the U.S. military since at least the 1950s.
I bet we did. Shit, they vaporizing our homies.
providing limited technological assistance in exchange for permission to use remote desert facilities for purposes Hall was never fully briefed on.
They live in underground facilities, speak English fluently, and apparently find humans both useful and primitively amusing, treating military personnel
Primitively amusing. That's not. That's. Do I amuse you? I make you laugh? My fucking clown. Do I amuse you?
the way we might treat clever but unpredictable animals. The tall whites reportedly have a longer lifespan than humans, with Hall estimating individuals could live 600 to 800 years. And they maintain family structures recognizable to humans, traveling with spouses and children. What separates tall white accounts from other alien types is the mundane specificity, Hall's descriptions of their daily routines, their preferences for certain foods, their frustration with human incompetence, their concern for their children's safety around
They're mad with the humans incompetent. That's funny.
humans, details that suggest either genuine observation or an
Wait, hold on. They say their kids around the humans.
details that suggest either incompetence, their concern for their children's safety around humans.
That's a crazy picture right there. It's like, hey, okay, okay, little Phil. Was that remember that cartoon show, the alien show Phil the alien? It used to come on like WB Kids. I don't know, but imagine like the mama alien say, "Okay, little alien, when you go to school, don't talk to other human kids. They're a little weird. They're gonna sound a little slow. Don't eat the school food now."
Details that suggest either genuine observation or an extraordinarily elaborate fiction.
The Blue Avians. The Blue Avians represent the most recent addition to alien typology, emerging primarily from the testimony of Corey Goode beginning in 2015, and they challenge every
A big bird.
assumption about what aliens should look or act like. Described as 8-foot-tall humanoid birds with bright blue or indigo feathers covering their bodies, they possess bird-like heads with large expressive eyes,
Sesame Street. They tried to tell us. Sesame Street. Big bird. Yep.
small beaks, and 3-fingered hands with opposable thumbs. Unlike the clinical grays or the volatile tall whites, blue avians are described as profoundly peaceful, highly spiritual, and operating as advisors or guides to other alien species and certain human secret space program personnel.
Okay, so we got the Nordics, the homies, the Blue Avians, Big Bird, they the homies, and you can tell that's right because look, Sesame Street. When we see Big Bird, we was never scared of Big Bird. I mean, at first it was kind of weird type shit. If we ever seen him in person as a kid, we'd probably like, whoa, whoa, shit, stay your ass on TV. Hold on, no, no. But we was never scared of Big Bird. He always came off, welcoming, warming. He loved us. Big Bird.
According to Goode's testimony, they are representatives of a group called the Sphere Being
Shanice.
Alliance,
What's up, gang?
sixth-density beings
What's
who
up,
exist
gang?
partially outside linear time and have returned to our solar system to assist humanity through a consciousness transformation event. They communicate exclusively through telepathy. Transmitting not just information, but emotional states and ethical concepts directly into the minds of those they contact, a form of communication Goode describes as overwhelming in its clarity and compassion. The Blue Avians allegedly maintain a strict non-interference policy, refusing to provide technology or solve humanity's problems directly, instead offering guidance that emphasizes personal spiritual development, forgiveness, and service to others. The appearance of humanity's problems direct form of communication Goode describes as overwhelming in its clarity and compassion.
The blue avians allegedly maintain a strict non-interference policy, refusing to provide technology or solve humanity's problems directly, instead offering guidance that emphasizes personal spiritual development, forgiveness, and service to others.
Damn. I need to start muting my fucking mic, bro. That shit be pissing me the fuck off. Fuck, yo. So yeah, I basically was saying that shit pissed me off. This whole saying 95% the blue homies, they are homies, but they only homies 90% because they help us and guide us, but they can't fix us because they have the power to fix us, but they can't because either a galaxy interference law contract or they just don't want to because if they do, we might end up surpassing their asses. So we're gonna give them 85% homies like the Nordics, because the Nordics could be our homies too. They be giving us guidance and shit too with the nuclear weapons and shit, but they're not on the back end. They could be, government shit. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna give them 85% homies.
The appearance of bird-like aliens is not entirely new. Ancient Egyptian depictions of Thoth, the ibis-headed god of wisdom, present striking visual parallels, and various indigenous traditions describe bird people or sky beings. But the blue avians, as described, represent something more specific, beings whose entire presence is designed to communicate transcendence of physical materialism. Skeptics
What if we mistaken these for angels? But let's not take away that there is no angels because, like I said, we're talking about interdimensional beings as well. But what if sometimes we'll be like, yo, I thought I seen an angel, but you really seen Big Bird, the alien. But angels are real. Don't get me wrong. Angels are definitely real. You feel what I'm saying? Mwah. They're real. But what if like you saw what you saw, but it wasn't what you saw? If that makes sense.
point out that the blue avians have never appeared in traditional abduction scenarios and exist
Mm.
solely within the testimonies of individuals involved in fringe disclosure movements. While believers argue this is precisely because they represent a fundamentally different level of contact, invitation-based rather than forcible, consciousness-based rather than physical.
The Abens.
Mm.
The Abens
The Abens. I think that's what's called the Abens.
are the aliens of the Zeta Reticuli system, and if the leaked documents known as the Serpo material are genuine, they represent the only confirmed case of human astronauts living on an alien planet for an extended period. Described as
Mm.
similar to grays but slightly taller at around 5 feet, with beige or tan skin rather than gray, and slightly more proportional heads, the Abens allegedly made formal diplomatic contact with the United States government following the Roswell incident in 1947.
The third homies. We found the third homies. The Nordics, the Avians, and maybe the Ebens. Let's hope. Let's see. Let's see.
According to the Serpo documents released anonymously in 2005, 12 U.S. military personnel were selected for a diplomatic exchange program and traveled to the Aben home planet Serpo in the Zeta Reticuli system in 1965, remaining there for 13 years before 8 survivors returned to Earth. The planet was described as orbiting a binary star system with constant daylight, requiring the human team to live in artificially darkened shelters. The Abens themselves were described as an entirely peaceful species with no concept of money, crime, or war, living in a highly organized collective society where individual roles were predetermined and unquestioned. They reproduced through cloning rather than sexual reproduction and viewed the human team with a mixture of scientific curiosity and genuine compassion, though cultural misunderstandings were frequent and sometimes fatal.
The returned astronauts allegedly described EBIN technology as based on principles of consciousness interaction with matter, and EBIN history revealed
Which means probably you gotta use everything with your mind telepathically, 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 telepathically.
they had visited Earth for thousands of years, observing human development and occasionally intervening in subtle ways. The Serpo material is either one of the most significant disclosures in human history or an elaborate disinformation campaign, and no definitive evidence has emerged to confirm or refute it. What makes the EBINs conceptually significant is they represent first contact not as invasion, abduction, or spiritual awakening, but as actual diplomatic exchange between civilizations, with all the mundane complications that implies.
So these were more than the homies. These were like our partner in crime type junk. This was like, hey, bro, this is how we gonna get stuff done, bro. Yeah, so the Ebens are our brothers and sisters. So we probably gonna give them 100% homie. So 100% homie Ebens, 85% Nordics, 85% avians. I want to give avians 90 so bad. Okay, no, we'll give them 90. But they know they have the technology and shit to, you know, get us right and heal us. The Ebens probably do too. It has to be like a galaxy contract or law why they can't do it for us, you know what I'm saying? Otherwise, they probably just don't want us to see succeed. But if that's the case, nah, if that's the case, then we'll be the Ebens will never want to work with us or something like that. Like, I'm like, sure, we're gonna give them 90% avians. 90%.
The Anunnaki.
Anunnakis. Yes, sir.
The Anunnaki occupy the uncertain territory between alien and God, ancient astronaut and mythology, described in ancient Sumerian texts as beings who came from the sky and are now claimed by various researchers to have been extraterrestrial genetic engineers who created or modified Homo sapiens.
Yeah, the Anunnaki. Everybody heard about the Anunnakis. They're the ones that really, like, I, th- I want to say exactly what they said. They created the Homo sapiens, Neanderthals, and stuff. But I feel like aliens came down and was fucking on the Neanderthals, and next thing you know, we had hybrid babies and stuff and everything. Because if you look back in time, when they was using like the technology Homo sapiens was using, never really advanced that much. Like it was like they had a spear, then 200 years the spear got sharper. But when aliens and shit came about, 50 years or something, next thing you know, we have civilization, got pyramids, we got economy, you know what I'm saying? Striving success, empires. That just like in the 60s, you know what I'm saying? 60s and 50s, like computers, when they first came out, there was a big ass room. They took up like two big ass rooms. 20 years later, we got it down to like a little chip or like, you know what I'm saying? A CPU went from a big ass room to a goddamn chip. Like, what the hell? Like, well, what the hell? Like, we ain't got the power for this. We're smart, but we ain't that smart. We ain't got the power for this. You ain't got the answer, Sway. What the fuck?
The name translates roughly as those who came from heaven to earth, and in original Sumerian cosmology, they were deities associated with the earth and underworld, subordinate to the sky god Anu. In tablets like the Atrahasis and Enuma Elish, dating back over 4,000 years, the Anunnaki are described as creating humans to serve as workers, mining gold and performing.
Damn. I was I was about to say I was so confident be like, damn, we got the fourth homies, the Anunnakis, and I'm like, ooh, damn. But that don't mean none of us are not have not came from the Anunnaki race. You feel what I'm saying? But like That's messed up. Slavery.
Performing labor the Anunnaki themselves
This is
refused to do.
slavery.
Modern ancient astronaut interpretations, particularly those popularized by Zecharia Sitchin beginning in the 1970s, propose that these texts are not mythology, but historical records of extraterrestrial contact, with the Anunnaki described as a race of tall humanoid beings from a planet called Nibiru, who genetically modified early hominids to create modern humans as a slave species. According
Slavery.
to these interpretations, the Anunnaki required gold for atmospheric purposes on their home planet, established mining operations on Earth approximately 450,000 years ago, and when their workforce of lesser Anunnaki rebelled, they created humans through genetic manipulation to replace them.
Various researchers claim the Anunnaki established themselves as the gods of ancient civilizations, with Sumerian deities like Enlil, Enki, and Inanna actually being individual Anunnaki commanders and scientists. They allegedly departed Earth following a catastrophic flood, but promised to return, and some conspiracy theories suggest
They left when the world goddamn blue was fucked up and shit. Alright, gang. We'll be back. Hey, they said, I'ma fuck with you. Hey, no, stay right there. No, we'll come right back, gang. We gonna fuck with you. We'll be right back. We going up the street real quick. We going to Venus. Yeah. We come right back, gang. Boy, hey, gang, where you going, bro? We all going, bro. It's finna be a flood. No, don't worry, bro. We finna go figure it out, bro. We gotta go talk to Buddy real quick. Try to get this right. Y'all gonna be good. Just stay right here. We gonna come back right there. Alright, but I won't fuck with you. Alright, man, we trust you. Alright, yeah, we fuck with y'all, bro. Appreciate y'all. Boom. Nigga, that's crazy.
they have already returned and operate through secret societies and bloodline families that descend from Anunnaki human hybrids. Academic scholars categorically reject the ancient astronaut
So I think it's like, can we put them in the same category as the reptilians? Can we?
interpretation, pointing to
Is that too soon to say? But it kind of sound like the reptilians. Kind of sound like some reptilian shit.
mistranslations, misunderstandings of Sumerian grammar, and the absence of any archaeological evidence of advanced technology in ancient Mesopotamia. Yet the question remains disturbing. If the Anunnaki were simply mythological gods, why are their descriptions so specific, so technological, so focused on genetics, mining, and engineering, rather than abstract spiritual concepts?
The small grays, or Zeta reticulans.
The small grays, damn, the grays already damn 3-4 feet tall. Like, what, they got the mini-me's?
The small grays, often called Zeta reticulans after their alleged star system of origin, are the workers of the alien hierarchy, shorter than their gray counterparts at roughly 3 to 4 feet tall, and witnesses describe them as operating with programmed behavior rather than independent intelligence. They appear almost identical to standard grays, but smaller, with proportionally even larger heads that seem barely supported by their thin necks, and their movements are described as more mechanical, more insect-like.
Oh, these the real bots. These are the real bots, y'all. These are, when people talk about bots, these are the gray bots. When grays get lazy, they send their little gray bots. Yes.
Leading some researchers to propose they are biological robots or cloned entities rather than a true species.
What I just say.
In abduction scenarios, small grays are reported as conducting the actual physical procedures, extracting samples, performing examinations, and operating equipment under the apparent supervision of taller grays or other alien types.
So, let's get this straight. Let's see if we get this down pat, y'all. The insectoids are over the grays, and the grays are over the small grays. Hierarchy.
Witnesses describe them as having almost no individual personality, never communicating directly, and showing no reaction to human distress beyond clinical observation. The most disturbing aspect of small gray encounters is the growing consensus among abduction researchers that these beings may not be alive in the way we understand life, but rather grown biological technology, artificial beings created for specific functions and then disposed of when no longer needed. This interpretation is supported by testimony from alleged military insiders who claim that crashed alien craft sometimes contain dozens of small gray bodies stored in containment units, suggesting they are manufactured in batches and deployed as needed. The
Mm.
small gray's alleged origin in the Zeta Reticuli.
So it's like the Greys are basically doing the same play the Anunnakis are doing with the humans. So this play been a playbook for goddamn for a little minute, cause it seems like a couple of these motherfuckers using the same playbook. Goddamn.
Reticuli star system, approximately 39 light-years from Earth, comes from the famous Betty Hill star map drawn under hypnosis in 1964, where she claimed to have been shown a three-dimensional holographic map indicating the gray home world and trade routes. Astronomer Marjorie Fish later identified a pattern of stars matching Hill's drawing, with Zeta Reticuli as the point of origin, though skeptics argue the match is coincidental and the interpretation forced. Whether small grays are degraded biological entities, purpose-built organic machines, or a genuinely diminutive alien species, they represent contact at its most dehumanizing, beings who treat humans as specimens with the emotional investment of a laboratory technician handling bacterial culture.
So when the Greys feel like, hey, we can't deal with this human because probably they feel bad or whatever, or we might be a little under stress because we're panicking because we're got abducted, so we might be a little cranky, might yell a little bit, and that might be hard for the Greys to handle. So for to handle that situation, they send the little Greys, the small Greys, and they're robots, so they don't care about the alien stuff. You could be on that thing like and just, and they just don't get the job done with this. No human remorse at all. I'm starting to think feelings was never supposed to be existed. Do you guys think feelings was supposed to be existed? Do you think like were we meant to have feelings? Was it accident to have feelings? Because why the other races don't really have feelings like that, except for like the Nordics, the avians, the big birds. But the other races don't seem like feelings is really involved. Everything is standards and procedure and a peaceful way of life.
The Alpha Draconians.
The what the fucker? The Alpha Drac. Yeah, these are not the homies. Mm-mm.
The Alpha Draconians are described as the ultimate hostile alien species, allegedly originating from the Alpha Draconis star system and representing a conquering empire that has subjugated hundreds of worlds, including, according to some accounts, partially subjugating Earth through proxy species and human collaborators. Standing between 7 and 18 feet tall, depending on caste, they are described as winged reptilian humanoids with horned or crested heads, powerful tails, and scale colors ranging from brown and green to red and white, with the white-scaled draconians allegedly representing a royal bloodline. Unlike terrestrial reptilians who are described as infiltrators and manipulators, alpha draconians are portrayed as open conquerors who view other species as inherently inferior and destined for domination. They allegedly possess advanced psychic abilities, including the power to project fear directly into the minds of other beings, paralyzing resistance before physical conflict even begins. According to contactee Alex Collier and others, the Draconians have been in conflict with more benevolent alien species for thousands of years, with Earth serving as a contested territory where Draconian influence operates through the reptilians, the Greys serving as middle management, and certain human bloodlines and secret societies serving as willing collaborators in exchange for technology and power.
The Draconian
Let's run that back again right there, cause it just dropped some real fucking gems. Because it sounds like the Draconians working with the reptilians and the small greys, and they're fighting with other benevolent. So I'm assuming the benevolents are the good aliens, and they're all fighting over Earth. But we want the benevolent ones because they're the homies. These motherfuckers are gonna be the ones that try to bully us and use our mind and everything to fuck us type shit and take over for control. And they already did it in a way because they have humans already sacrificing, doing cold shit for them. But as long as our heart and our soul is good and but and we reside with benevolent in God, they could never hit us. No spell could never be cast on us. You feel me? Your heart gotta be pure though. You gotta understand, like money don't exist. That shit's evil. This is all simulation. You feel me? You design your own path for your own destiny. But if you let your path control you, then you're destined to you're destined to be where you desire. If you desire the money, you go where the money is at. Some people, I don't really trust people who do stuff just for money. Because if you do something for money, you probably, you might sell your own mother out type shit. You gotta watch people like that, especially people that talk about money all the time. Money, 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 money. Like, yeah. Because it's a simulation, man. It's not real. They make us believe it's real. Don't get me wrong, it's real, like, economy wise, but like having this dream to want to be rich, be the, big person on the earth, like, no, man. Money should be the bonus. It should be like something that just happens to come into your life because you chased your dream, because, you live life. You feel me? A lot of people don't want to live life. They're not enjoying life. They're just surviving. I don't know. But yeah, man, is that what we're doing? Is that what's going on here? Let's see that again.
through the reptilians, the Greys serving as middle management, and certain human bloodlines and secret societies serving as willing collaborators in exchange for technology and power.
The draconian hierarchy is described as rigidly structured, with lower castes serving as warriors and workers, while upper castes function as commanders and priests, and the entire species is unified by a philosophy of conquest and genetic supremacy. They are said to feed on negative emotional energy, particularly fear and suffering, deliberately.
See, that's why I was doing. So now I said, as long as we keep our spirits good, and we're just, at the end of the day, we're humans, so we might feel some type of way, we might get into argument, we might just have a bad day, but we never let that stress us. We just gotta let that go and be like, man, that shit's temporarily. We can't take that. We're going into the future, cause you know why? We can't go back a second ago. I can't go back 3 minutes ago, even though I could rewind it 3 minutes in the YouTube video, but I can't rewind it 3 minutes to what I was just doing physically. You know why? That's our power. But if we kept that negative emotion with us, and we can do that, they can feed on that, and they can take us down. So we gotta keep on top. We gotta be like, man, negative what? Ugh. Complain what? We ain't complaining. You wanna argue? Ugh, no. Just block people. Just block them. That's all. Just block people. Don't argue. One negative. They don't like you. Fuck them. Don't chase people. People will chase you because you're great energy. You'll see. You'll see.
Engineering conflicts and atrocities on conquered worlds to harvest this energy. The Alpha Draconian narrative exists almost entirely within conspiracy and
I'm sorry, y'all. Shanice. Shanice. Did you did, did you say the Dragacon look like an X? The Draconian look like an X? The Draconian look like an X, Shanice. God damn it, Shanice. God damn it.
contactee testimony with no physical evidence, yet the archetype of the dragon as humanity's ultimate enemy appears across.
This looks like an X, Shanice. This looks like a goddamn X. The Draconian. Which one? This one? Or this one? Or that one? She said that this alien love that alien love my ex. I don't see.
Across virtually every ancient culture, from Europe to Asia to the Americas, serpent beings associated with chaos, destruction, and the underworld. Whether the Draconians are literal aliens, archetypal projections of humanity's shadow self, or deliberate disinformation designed to create fear-based thinking, They represent the darkest possible interpretation of the alien presence.
Demantids, or mantis beings. Demantids are perhaps the most alien aliens, beings whose appearance and behavior are
So the mantis are not the insectoids. Maybe I paused it too early because they look damn near saying what the fuck.
so far removed from mammalian psychology that witnesses struggle to even process the encounters as real experiences.
Hmm?
Standing between 5 and 7 feet tall, they possess elongated triangular heads, large wraparound compound eyes that shift colors from gold to green, thin bodies with multiple joints, and long, delicate limbs that fold in ways human anatomy cannot replicate.
That sounds like some poltergeist shit.
They move with the precise, calculated motion of praying mantises, their heads tilting and rotating with insect smoothness, and their communication is described not as telepathy in the conventional sense, but as direct information transfer, entire concepts appearing fully formed in the contactee's mind, without language as an intermediate step. Witnesses can
Yo, we are so fucking behind in this universe, yo. Because why are we still using our mouths to speak? Like, we should not be using our mouths to speak at all, bro. We should not be using this at all. What the fuck are we doing? Like, these aliens are so bro. These other beings are so advanced, bro. Like, they just pull up on someone. I bet they have no problem with they have no problem with conversation. There's no such thing as being socially awkward when you're an alien. Or I mean, we're aliens to the aliens, but we don't have the powers because we're the slow ones. We're the ones they don't want to give the powers to, or they don't want to let us access our fucking damn, powers type shit. I'm just gonna say powers. I ain't gonna get too deep and say interdimensional. Man, our powers, god damn it. Just sum it up for the layman terms for everyone, because I want everyone to get in with this shit. They don't want to let us get our powers, so we have to use our mouths to speak. We still eat food. Like food ain't supposed to taste good. We ain't supposed to be eating like we're eating. But telepathically, we're supposed to be telling telepathically. Telepathy, telepathy, telepathically, 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 telepathically. And and there's so much more advanced where it was like, as you see, most of the alien races were talking telepathically, but you had the insectoids. They was using the hives mindset, where they wasn't. It's like it's a public service announcement to everyone's gonna hear this shit, not just you. Everyone's gonna hear this shit without me even saying shit. Then they got more advanced with an insectoid. It's just direct information. It's like as soon as I see you already know what I'm like, bro. What the fuck, bro? This shit flabbergasted. This shit is wild, but it's dope at the same time. But why the fuck when you got these powers? I want these powers. I want them. I want them.
consistently describe mantids as the highest authority in abduction scenarios,
Oh, the highest.
standing in the background while Greys perform procedures, occasionally stepping forward to intervene or
So you have the insecto. Wait, nah, wait.
communicate directly with the abductee. The communication is almost always described as deeply compassionate, not in an emotional way, but in a vast, impersonal way, the way a biologist might feel compassion for an endangered species while still conducting necessary research.
Mantids are associated with genetic programs, spiritual instruction, and what abductees describe as soul contracts, pre-incarnation agreements that the abductee allegedly made before birth to participate in hybrid breeding programs. The presence of a mantid in an abduction experience transforms the event from traumatic medical procedure to something closer to shamanic initiation, with witnesses reporting that the mantid's gaze seems to see through multiple timelines simultaneously, perceiving the abductee's past lives, future possibilities, and current incarnation purpose all at once.
That's crazy, bro. I'm jealous. I'm kind of jealous of their power. Insectoids, but so basically, nah. So basically, They don't give a fuck about what we're saying, our government, our politics, or whatever going on. When they abduct us, and we be like, "Yo, this hurts, bro. What they doing?" And they're like, "Oh, I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You poor little guy." What? We're just lab rats. So some of us, it's like you said like endangered animals. But what I find very fascinating, he said you could look at the the um the insectoid. I forgot the alien name, but this alien can look at the human body and see multiverses while looking at them. And this is probably not the only alien that can do it, but that just to show you out there, like we're so fucking far behind again. Cause you look at them, like it shows the possibilities, or their lives could be like, yo, like bro, we have that, and that's the thing about it. You see, like even the picture, they have different lines going to different directions. So I was like, it shows you like every choice you make defines your life in the future. Literally, every choice you make will define your life in the future. So make your decision the best, make your next move the best, make your next move the best move. Literally, because you define your own path. Because he's looking at the dimensions of one person. I just find this crazy. That's crazy.
Some researchers propose that mantids are not extraterrestrial but interdimensional, existing partially outside our space-time and appearing physical only through tremendous effort. The praying mantis appears in various spiritual traditions as a symbol of stillness, patience, and predatory precision. An ancient Egyptian art occasionally depicts gods with distinctly insect-like characteristics,
Hey, I got that tag, the sacred beetle. Hell,
suggesting the mantid presence in human consciousness may extend back thousands of years.
The Pleiadians. The Pleiadians claim to be humanity's spiritual ancestors, human-looking aliens from the Pleiades star cluster who allegedly seeded Earth with human genetics.
I think we found another homies. We got the Nordics, the Avians, the Ebens, and the Pleiadians look human as hell. They kind of remind me of the Nordics, but they didn't look too tall, and they have blue hair. The Nordics have blonde.
Hundreds of thousands of years ago and have returned to guide their genetic descendants through a cosmic awakening.
These are our cousins. These are the family. They're not just the homies. These are our family trying to tell us. This is the real ancestry.com.
Described as indistinguishable from attractive Northern European humans standing between 5.5 and 7 feet tall with light hair, blue or green eyes, and an almost luminous quality to their skin, Pleiadians are consistently portrayed as benevolent, spiritually advanced, and deeply concerned with human evolution. The Pleiadian contact movement began primarily in the 1970s with contactees like Billy Meyer, who claimed ongoing communication with beings named Semyase and Pta'a.
These are the alien races that want to see human races develop. So we need when they approach you guys, please don't get scared and just like, yo, homie, what's happening, gang? Like, you feel me? I ain't gonna post you, I ain't gonna take no pictures, but help me figure out how, you know what I'm saying? Teach me a little something. We good, gang. On big dog, on the homie.
Providing photographs of their craft and extensive philosophical teachings. Unlike the warning-focused Nordics or the scientific Greys, Pleiadians allegedly communicate primarily to provide spiritual guidance, emphasizing meditation, compassion, environmental stewardship, and the understanding that humans are immortal spiritual beings temporarily inhabiting physical bodies. They describe their own civilization as having transcended war, poverty, and disease thousands of years ago through collective spiritual development, and they claim Earth is currently undergoing a similar transition that will either elevate humanity to galactic citizenship or result in self-destruction.
So what? We're going through a spiritual development crisis now, where we could be spiritually developed, or we're gonna go through another catastrophic bullshit again. So either be prepared to get more powers, or be prepared to die. That's all. That's all.
The Pleiadians
That
allegedly
is
cannot intervene
that
directly
is
due to cosmic laws of non-interference, but can offer information and energy to those who choose to listen.
the soul cube. The Soul Cube.
Skeptics point out that the Pleiades star cluster is only about 100 million years old, likely too young for advanced civilizations to have evolved, and that Pleiadian messages often sound indistinguishable from New Age philosophy that was already popular when the context began. Believers counter that Pleiadians are not from planets in the Pleiades, but from higher dimensional realities associated with that star cluster, making
Extra-dimensional beings.
conventional
So the aliens that we probably seen before, they're in our galaxy, just a different star from around us, but they're probably still in the same dimension. But these certain ones are extra-dimensional beings, where they're like in a whole different dimension that's outside of the universe time and depth and shit. Cause I believe we see 4D now. We see left, right, up, down, time, width. Oh, we see height, width, depth, and time. 4 dimensions. But yeah, bro. Yeah, that shit. The word. So you got extra dimensional beings that are in the galaxy space, but a whole different dimensional being. Because, space got their own different dimensionals too. We got the interdimensional beings as well on Earth, but it's a whole different dimensions on Earth beings as well. That's crazy, ain't it? On top of the alien beings. So it's like, this shit's never ending. If you think about it, you could be like extra dimensional being on Earth or you, then that person could have a whole alien. They're probably already cool with the aliens on that extra dimensional being in that other Earth dimension, where the alien race and the humans, like, they the homies and shit. They probably gang bang. They probably, rapping together, doing music. They probably do movies together and shit. Start businesses. You feel me? In that dimension. Then over here, you know what I'm saying? So, man, there's a shit never ending. God created a whole lot of stuff.
astrophysics irrelevant. The Pleiades hold special significance in dozens of ancient cultures, from the Aboriginal Australians to the Aztecs to the Japanese, all of whom identified it as the origin point of either gods or ancestors, suggesting that whether Pleiadians are real aliens or archetypal symbols, they tap into something ancient in human consciousness.
The Sirians
The Pleiadians are the homies. They're the homies, 100% homies. Don't see nothing no different. They're the homies, y'all.
The Sirians are the ancient teachers, allegedly originating from the Sirius star system and associated with the founding of human civilization, particularly ancient Egypt, where Sirius held profound religious and astronomical significance. Described as appearing in multiple forms, including humanoid, aquatic or amphibian, and occasionally feline or canine.
They're the homies. Because they're the homies. They're the homies.
The Sirians allegedly made extensive contact with ancient human civilizations, providing knowledge of agriculture, astronomy, mathematics, and spiritual practices.
They're the homies. See? You see how they provide coaching, they provide practice, they showed us how to grow food. You feel what I'm saying? They were teaching us. Goddamn, and the avians, Big Bird, was like, bro, we're gonna give y'all spiritual support. We're gonna pray for y'all. No, we can't help y'all. We know how to help y'all though. We got the cure for all that, technology for all that. Nah. But we can't do that. Well, we don't want to. But we're just gonna give you emotional support and hope one day you guys figure it out. Because if we give it to you guys, you won't be the stronger race. Man, fuck y'all avians, man. Now y'all 85% homies. Y'all was 90% homies, but now y'all Big Bird ass is 80% homies. Fuck 85, 80% homies, nigga.
The Dogon tribe of Mali possess astronomical knowledge about Sirius B, a white dwarf companion star invisible to the naked eye, that was not confirmed by Western astronomy until the 20th century, claiming this knowledge was provided by amphibious beings called the Nomo, who came from Sirius in ancient
The dolphins, of course.
times. In modern contact accounts, Sirians appear as tall blue-skinned humanoids or occasionally as beings with distinctly aquatic features, including gill-like structures and webbed fingers, and they are consistently described as ancient, wise, and operating with cosmic perspective that views humanity as one young species among thousands. According to various channeled sources and contactee testimony, Sirians have been involved in human development for hundreds of thousands of years, sometimes working in cooperation with Pleiadians and sometimes in complex political relationships with less benevolent species.
They are associated with the construction of the Great Pyramid,
the sudden appearance of advanced knowledge in Sumerian civilization.
That actually makes sense, because what other explanation can we say, like how the human build the pyramids? I'm not believing motherfuckers just, oh, they just carried blocks up there. Not us. Not us, not I, not my ancestors. Well, my yeah, it could be my ancestors because I come from Venus specifically. But I'm talking about like some of you humans out there. There are like, really humans, that probably believe like, yeah, they carried brick by brick. You know how heavy that damn brick was, nigga. Niggas wasn't building no pyramids, nigga. Get the fuck out of here.
And the
Was the aliens?
mysteriously advanced astronomical knowledge present in various ancient cultures. Syrians allegedly view Earth as a library of genetic diversity and a
Mm.
critical experiment in free will, making the planet valuable to multiple alien factions for different reasons.
Earth was America before America was America. Earth was America before America was America. The land of the free. The earth was the earth of the free before the land was the land of the free. Remember that.
The ancient Egyptian emphasis on Sirius, which they called Sabdet, as the most important star in the sky, with the entire calendar synchronized to its heliacal rising and temple architecture aligned to its appearance, suggests either alien contact or a coincidence so profound it demands explanation. The Arcturians. The Arcturians are described as fifth-dimensional healers and spiritual guides from the Arcturus star system, appearing when called by individuals seeking healing, spiritual development, or assistance transitioning.
Yo, I'm start getting into meditating. I was about to say I'm start getting back into meditating. I know damn well I never meditated a damn day in my life. Um, I probably like close my eyes a little bit, but yeah, I'm gotta start doing meditation, or at least try it out, because if this shit actually works, you don't need no fucking Tylenol. You don't need no medicine. You can cure cancer with meditation, but you really, really gotta do that shit. Can't just get up one day, oh, I'm doing meditation. Just like, nah, but that shit would really be beneficial. So I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna do a stream just meditating. I know, I know. That should be probably crazy. I'm try. I should do that tomorrow. Nah, I'm gonna do that though one day.
Between incarnations. Unlike physical aliens who arrive in spacecraft, Arcturians are reported as manifesting through consciousness, appearing as beings of light in colors ranging from blue to violet to green, sometimes
Mm.
coalescing into vaguely humanoid forms between 3 and 5 feet tall with large heads and penetrating eyes, sometimes remaining as geometric patterns of living light. Contactees describe Arcturian energy as intensely healing, transforming, and unconditionally loving, working directly on the energetic and spiritual bodies rather than the physical form. According to Edgar Cayce and other sources, Arcturians are among the most spiritually advanced beings in the galaxy, having transcended physical form millions of years ago, but choosing to maintain connection with physical reality to assist less developed species.
They are the homies. So I'm telling y'all, bro. Not all aliens are bad. We got people that really love us out here.
They allegedly operate healing ships in higher dimensions, where souls go between incarnations to repair damage from traumatic lifetimes, and
So cute.
they are said to be deeply involved in the current planetary ascension process, working to raise Earth's vibrational frequency.
The
So we're like their babies. We're the Arcturian babies. Well, we're God babies. God made all these alien races. God didn't just make the Earth race, the human beings race. God made all these alien races, all these interdimensional beings, extraterrestrials that they're talking about right now. God made all this, but that's why He put the Arcturians. Arcturians are trying to help us, along with the Placidians and the Nordics. So they're trying to help. They're trying to help us, and they're trying to help us
Arcturian contact
developed and get our powers and everything. But the reptilians and the other motherfuckers, the reptilians, the insectoids, and the mantis motherfuckers. They wanna be like, no, 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 these are bitches. This ain't no bitches. See, you thought Civil War was something, my nigga. Y'all thought Civil War was something. Niggas thought Civil War. You thought racism was something, nigga. You thought political Democrats, Republicans, nigga. Y'all didn't see shit, nigga. We going through something way bigger than that.
Experience is fundamentally different from abduction, described not as being taken but as being invited, not as medical procedure but as energetic recalibration, and witnesses report feeling profound peace rather than fear. Arcturus
Doctor is the homies,
is one of
man.
the brightest stars visible from Earth and has appeared in mythology across cultures, from ancient Greece where it was associated with the god Hermes to Hawaiian tradition where it represented a pathway for souls. Some researchers propose that Arcturians are not aliens but angelic beings using alien terminology to reach people who would reject religious language, while believers insist they are genuinely extraterrestrial but so advanced that the distinction between alien and angel becomes meaningless.
The orange. The orange remains
Doctor is the homies, but I don't know about the orange. That's the last one. The fuck? Homies or non? Homies or or villain? Homies or ops? Let's see.
one of the strangest and least discussed alien types,
Mm.
appearing primarily in abduction accounts from the 1980s and 1990s as short beings with orange-tinted skin, large dark eyes, and an unsettling quality that witnesses struggle to articulate. Standing roughly 4 feet tall, they are described as similar to greys in general body structure,
As soon as they compared it to Grays, I already knew they're not the homies. They're not the homies.
but with orange or reddish-brown skin that appears almost dirty or
I could be wrong though.
malnourished, and their behavior is reported as more erratic, more emotionally volatile than the clinical greys. Witnesses describe orange aliens as appearing sick or deteriorating, moving with less
Them niggas look sad as fuck. What's going on with them?
precision than other alien types, and exuding an atmosphere of desperation rather than clinical detachment or benevolent guidance. In the few detailed accounts available, orange beings are described as operating under the supervision of greys or reptilians, performing menial tasks aboard craft, and showing visible fear of their supervisors. Some abduction researchers have proposed that orange aliens
Oh, so they the hoes like us.
are a dying species, possibly the original greys before genetic degradation, or biological
Mm,
constructs that have exceeded their designed lifespan and are breaking down. The most disturbing interpretation suggests they are human-alien hybrids from early failed experiments, explaining their emotional volatility as a consequence of combining alien genetics with human psychological patterns.
mm. See, because I told y'all, I think emotions wasn't supposed to happen. Like that was a slip up or whatever. Like I think the emotions we supposed to have like peace, love, but the emotions like as far as like what we go through now, besides like peace and love and sadness, like I don't think we was ever supposed to encounter that. That shit just slipped up and created like an accidental phenomenon, and because other races don't have that shit. You don't see other alien races talk about crying and shit, complaining. We're the only race that does that dumbass shit.
Unlike other alien types that appear consistently across decades of reports, orange encounters seem to cluster in a specific time period and then largely disappeared,
Mm,
leading to speculation that they were a temporary workforce that was either used up and disposed of or successfully integrated into the gray collective.
mm,
The orange serve as a reminder that the alien presence, if real, is likely far more complex than simple categories suggest, with multiple species, factions, artificial beings, and hybrids, creating a situation too layered for human understanding to fully map.
mm. Okay. Well, that was where we at? What the fuck is
At
this?
its most
Uh,
dehumanizing,
yeah. So that was every type of alien explained, cryptid croaks, and yeah. So we need to start preparing because the aliens are fucking here and everything. Let me play this other video just so y'all don't leave because I want to get that straight. But yeah, now that we went over the video, all the aliens and shit. before I play this next video, let me know, cause I'm gonna post this video type shit. Let me know in the comments which alien race you think is gonna really help us. Cause like I said, the Nordics, the Placidians, the Arcturians, all those to the bottom. Maybe the inventors and shit, like the Aventarians, or the Brave Birds. Which ones are the good ones? Which one you think are the bad ones? Let me know on that one. And I'm play this other video because I seen something on the news, and this shit came out 2 weeks ago. Y'all think I'm bullshitting? Hmm? Think I'm bullshitting when it comes to this shit? Hmm? Y'all think I'm bullshitting, huh? Y'all think I'm bullshitting? I seen this video yesterday.
U.S.
I was like, I'm not gonna. So I seen this video yesterday. I glanced at it and I said, I'm gonna react to it on stream. Because I was like, what the hell? CBN News. Matter of fact, let's see how credible CBN News is. How credible is CBN News?
CBN News is part of the Christian Broadcasting Network, which has a specific religious orientation. It covers stories from that perspective and often includes faith-based content. Its credibility to
Okay, it seems Christian based content. But either way it goes, it has 2.8 million subscribers. And okay, still Christian based. Is that the same one? Either way it goes. I seen this and I was like, it's kind of a little eye catching. Interdimensional beings. Proof is coming. Congresswoman claims. Congresswoman claims.
Representative Anna Paulina Luna just said something pretty remarkable about interdimensional beings. Take a look.
So interdimensional beings is what our witnesses will call these things. I have seen evidence in a skiff that leads me to believe there are things we cannot explain, and I have observed things that are of non-human origin and creation. That's my opinion. Again, but there has been a declassification order from the president, and you will see as soon as that stuff comes out.
All right.
They're here. They're coming. They're coming. They're fucking here. We about to get our powers. We about to get our powers. We about to get our powers. I'm about to be telepathic. 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 I'm about to be telepathic. I'm about to be telepathic.
Billy, you're the resident expert on this subject. What did you make of her comments?
You know, her comments were really interesting. The thing that stuck out to me the most is when she said, I don't call them aliens, because right now, the UAP, the UFO conversation is centered around whether or not intelligent life outside of our own exists somewhere in the universe, right? And this is a debate that is persisting throughout really the entire country, and there's a lot of intrigue around it. What's so interesting to me, before we kind of come back to her comments, just so that there's some framing here, 5-10 years ago, people would have been laughing at these conversations. Now, you have presidents, former presidents, talking about the fact that there are things that can't be identified in the skies. You have scientists saying, well, maybe we're not alone. And so you have this whole conversation happening. And
I mean, if you really think we're alone, you're just a dumbass. Point blank, period. You're just a dumbass.
then there's a theological side of this conversation happening where there are a lot of people, and we cover this in our new film, Investigating the Supernatural, Angels and Demons. There are a lot of Christians and theologians who would say, these are not aliens at all. There's something else. And we could talk about that in a moment. Coming back to her comments, it intrigued me when she said, I don't call them aliens, because it makes me think, from what I understand, she is a Christian. It makes me think that she has a theological position on this that she's maybe not quite illustrating here. If you're not calling them aliens, and they're floating around in the skies on these, pending this is true, these unidentified flying objects, what exactly are they? And that's the big question. If people are seeing something that can't be explained, there's either a natural explanation. If there's not a natural explanation for what it is, then we have to have a conversation about what that potentially is rooted in. And that is where this is going to get interesting.
Well, if you're wondering, Billy is not in a spaceship. He's actually in an airport on his way to do more publicity for this new movie that deals with this specific subject. So, how can people find this movie?
They can go to cbn.com/supernatural and they can watch it there. Yeah, one more thing about this, because we should just dive into this conversation about what it might be, right? Because I think that is and we address this in the film. If you have a couple of options, you're either dealing with actual UFOs and aliens, that there are created beings beyond this world that we don't understand, and there are some Christians that are comfortable with that, or you're dealing with what she said, which is interdimensional beings. Now, that's interesting because what is an interdimensional being? Well, a demon would be an interdimensional being, essentially, right? If you believe in angels and demons and you're a Christian, that's what that would be. So, one of the primary theories.
So you got interdimensional beings along with the aliens and stuff. So that doesn't take away from the whole alien perspective that they're oh, aliens not real, it's interdimension. No, that just means there's more shit going on. You got aliens, you got interdimensional beings. You also got extra dimensional beings, but we're not here for that right now.
And this is one that I think is probably the most prevalent among Christians right now, is that people are not actually seeing aliens that are created species outside of humans living somewhere in the universe. They're actually seeing a spiritual manifestation of something.
Spirits, think of like angels, demons, poltergeists, interdimensional, bro, shit get wicked, bro. This shit's wicked as hell, bro.
That
Shit
perhaps they're
wicked.
seeing into the spiritual realm. And there are a number of reasons why, and I know this sounds kind of wild, but we address this in the film. The evidence for why that actually could be the case is pretty interesting, and there's some compelling arguments for it.
Well, you've obviously done a lot of research on this, and as a lay person, that seems to make the most sense to me. Just thinking about how far away other solar systems might be or other galaxies, we're talking about thousands, hundreds, millions of light years away. So even if something was traveling at the speed of light, which is crazy technology, it would still outlast the life of any organism that we can imagine, unless it is an interdimensional being. But I think what we're seeing is, if you look at scripture, what's going to be happening at the end times, it's this great deception. It's this manipulation, and it seems like this is setting the stage for that. And I go to this one verse, excuse me, that's related, and it's when I hear the idea of interdimensional beings, it doesn't scare me, it doesn't worry me, it doesn't mess with my theology. I go to
Nothing. It should not mess with you. It should make you feel no type of way. It should make you no type of way that you're in this whole universe not alone. You should not feel no type of way. God made several stuff. God made aliens. God made interdimensional beings. God made extra dimensional beings. God made um the aliens. God made the Placidians. God made the Nordics. God made the Ebens. God made the Greys. God made the Reptilians. Just like even though they're bad aliens, even though they're bad people, God still made them. You feel me? So it's like, it's okay. It's okay. We just haven't reached that level of understanding yet. But we'll get there. One one lifetime. one
2
dim
Corinthians, what
one dimension. We'll get there at one dimension. Not you get it. We'll get there. We'll get there. What they call it? Once upon a time. Hopefully we get there one time. Hopefully we get there one dimension. We'll get there in the next dimension. Yeah. Hopefully in the next dimension.
says this: for Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light. So to me, this is all being set up as like I don't know this, I'm not like an alien expert, but like as the precursor to a great deception, where it's like we need to be looking at things not with just our eyeballs, right? And when you're presented with stories like this,
There's more to meet. There's more. There's more that meets the eye. I think I said that right. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's more that meets the eye.
our first reaction is to be, all right, Holy Spirit.
Transformers? More that meets the eye. No? Okay.
Reveal, give me discernment, give me the eyes of heaven to look beyond the facade of light, the facade of what's being presented,
Mm-hmm.
and let me see through your eyes, Father. And
Facts.
so, again, even if these things come across as like benevolent
It's all about interpretation.
and, whatever might be, man, Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light. So, regardless of what the outcome, what this is going to look like, what the disclosure is going to be, what the next 9 steps will be, I think we need to just be in prayer and not reacting, but responding by allowing God to open up our eyes to the
Don't fucking panic. Don't panic. You feel me? You don't panic. You don't panic when you see another person that's a human being but a different skin color. Don't panic when you see another being and they're not human. They're just a different being. The fuck? God made them too. So respect them and show them love as well. What the fuck?
reality of the spiritual realm, so that we can see clearly what is happening in this moment. But again, you are the expert, Billy, so I'll give you the last word.
No, I love that. And I think it's so true. And understanding what Ephesians 6 tells us, that we're in the middle of a spiritual battle. I feel like we talk about this daily at this point, that it's sort of pouring over into our natural world. And so you brought up that word deception. And I think that's really important here, that we understand what is happening. If you're a Christian, you may want to laugh this topic off, but you need to have an answer to this. You need to know what you think about it. You need to figure it out. You need to pray about it. Ask the Holy Spirit to give you guidance, because the rest of the world is going to be talking about this. When this disclosure comes out, people are going to make determinations about what they think are in these files, what they think people have been seeing. And it very well may be that the vast majority of the things that people are claiming they see have natural explanations. They're lights, they're airplanes people didn't know about, they're drones, but they're
I feel like they kind of prepared us with a soft introduction by showing us movies such as Men in Black, E.T., Coneheads, Poltergeist. You know what I'm saying? They've been trying to tell us this shit. You think this shit's imagination? You think kids was like, oh, Goo Goo Gaga, Men in Black. I'm Men in Black, oh, Goo Gaga, kid. No, motherfuckers, folks, I have no fucking imagination like that. This is called stories. You know what I'm saying? They tell us through media, because they told us straight up, we would panic. We'd be like, oh, oh. We'll start questioning shit, because just like that movie, you can't handle the truth. Hey man, y'all, thanks for tuning in. Episode 9, The Matrix, the Alien Show. Shanice, gang, gang, gang.